Finally, our next guest served on the front lines of Operation Protective Edge. Yonat Daskal is one of the few Israeli women who witnessed conflict in Gaza from the inside, saving lives under fire as a paramedic. Lieutenant Czor Gולדין experienced every Israeli's worst fear when his twin brother Hadar was kidnapped and killed by Hamas terrorists. Please join me in welcoming these two very, very courageous soldiers. Czor, first we want to extend, of course, our deepest condolences to you on the loss of your brother. Take us back to that day when you learned that something had happened. You were serving in Gaza, and you learned that soldiers had been kidnapped, that there was an incident with the tunnels. Tell us how you heard.
I was serving in Gaza. I was commander in the paratroopers, the 101st Paratroopers Brigade. It was the third week of fighting, and as I came back, we were entering yet another ceasefire. It was Friday. It was supposed to take place at 8 a.m. in the morning. And it was 8:30 when I came back from a patrol mission inside Gaza, and I heard a distress call saying that 2 soldiers are killed, 1 is apparently kidnapped, and the person who spoke noticed that 3 other soldiers are there after the kidnapped soldier. Little did I know that it was where my brother Hadar was situated, only 700 meters from where I was. And I passed the report to my commander, and we started organizing my job. I was a commander of a rescue company, so actually I was supposed to go into the spot to help and rescue, and as I went, the orders changed and I was commanded to come back to the border. And in the border there, it was the moment when a hand rested on my shoulder. It was an officer ranked much higher than I was, and he told me that my brother Hadar is missing in battle.
So you were about to go out on the mission to try and rescue, or you were that close to going out and called back, and only found out shortly afterwards that it was your brother?
Yes.
You and your brother were very close. You studied together. You served in officer school, went through officer school together. You were in combat together, and you and your family suffered a tremendous loss. But you went back into the army. I mean, you went back into battle. Again, tell us about the values that motivate you to do something like that.
I was close. I was very close to my brother. We did everything, just like you said, in life. On the day of the funeral, Prime Minister Netanyahu also called, and he told me he also has experience as a brother who lost his brother Yoni in battle. He said that he felt it's like missing an organ, like one of your organs is missing. I share this feeling, and we completed each other. He's the love of my life. But, and for me, it was obvious that I will come back. For us, we also were educated. This is also the reason why we became officers. I truly believe this is serving the highest and most noble moral mission of defending the only Jewish state. It's a crucial responsibility, and as a Jew, as a grandfather, a grandson to Holocaust survivors, I truly believe this mission is very noble. So for me, it was very clear that I will come back and finish. Please finish my job. Thank you.
Yonat, you were actually on your post-army trip in Central America when you learned that hostilities had broken out, and yet you chose to leave and to come back and to serve really on the front lines as one of the very, very few women soldier paramedics. What led to that decision?
I decided to come back to Israel 1 month earlier than I planned from my big trip in South of America, because I understand that in my regular service we just practiced about 3.5 years, you know, to protect to my country, and I understand that I can't enjoy in this trip, and all my friends in my unit fight and risk his life, and I really understand that I need to be there, and I am the only paramedic in my unit, so I knew that if something happened to my friends, I really need to be there, so I decided to come back to Israel.
So tell us about being a paramedic in a war zone. I mean, how do you decide who to treat first? What is it like to really be on the inside of a war situation?
Actually, I'm working Magen David Adom, the ambulance national service in Israel. And to be a paramedic in a war zone, it's very different because first, you know, the equipment. In my work, all the equipment in the ambulances, it's so comfortable and okay, but in war zone, all the equipment is on your back, and you just can't treat in a safe place. So it's sometimes a dark place, and you can't use in light. So you need to treat with another senses. I check consciousness on my injured just to ask his name, and you know, to treat in war zone, you don't treat like my work in Magen David Adom. For all the people that you are not met them before, this is your friends. This is your friends that you fight with them, and there is young people,
and the fact that you're a woman, does that make a difference or not in those situations? I mean, are you looked at any differently, or you're a soldier doing your job?
No, to be a woman in a combat unit, it's a little different, but I really understand that I need to be the right person in the right place. So I'm good in what I'm doing. And in Gaza, we have a big situation that Hamas shot us 3 anti-tank rockets, and one of the team dead, and we had 10 seriously injured. And after this event, all the soldiers, I like her big sister. All the soldiers came to me and just telling about their emotion and feeling what happened the night before. So it's good to be a woman in this unit.
Yes, you know. Well, it certainly says a lot about your generation and the courage and commitment that you showed. Tzur, we have read, we saw the pictures in Gaza and the difficulty of fighting an enemy that truly embedded itself within the civilian population. Can you share with us some of what it was to serve in Gaza this summer, and the ethics that you bring to your job?
It is a challenge. It's almost, it seems for us as people who are educated and taught by our values, very, very heavily taught by those values, it seems quite simple, but actually it's quite impossible. As you enter such a place, I call it a network of evil, with so many resources that could have been invested in schools and education and life quality, invested in tunnels, terrorists using civilians. I was responsible to rescue. I was responsible for a rescue company. And there was once an incident when under fire, knowing that as an IDF officer, one of my values is to value life, no matter who, we took those civilians out as part of our values. But it's shocking, and when you get inside, you see tunnel entrances under mosques, under local schools. So it seems impossible, but for us, as you're well instructed and heavily educated to use your values, it seems simple. And I think that a lot of people speaking against our army should try to come and learn, come to Israel, be invited to the IDF to understand how a true democracy and how a true liberal democracy works.
Well, as you're hearing from the audience, we know that, we understand that, we respect it. I know that you don't see yourselves as anything more than ordinary people in an extraordinary situation, not exactly heroes. But I want to thank you, really, for your service, for your sense of duty, for your commitment. I want to thank all of our panelists today for being here and for the resilience that they have shown us in dealing with a situation last summer that no civilized nation on the face of the earth could have endured for more than 5 minutes. You truly inspire us. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.